In this bass lesson, you're going to learn a hack for the pentatonic scale that will have you fluidly playing all up and down the neck of your bass. Hi, I'm Luke from becomeabassist.com, and keep watching if you really want to start nailing your pentatonic scale during your bass solos or your bass fills. Today's video actually comes from a question on another video of mine from a viewer named Sai, who asked about the shapes of the pentatonic scale, how to memorize them, how to play through them, and how to combine them. I thought it was a great question, and we will get to the meat of it really quickly, but before we get into answering the specifics, we need to know our minor pentatonic scale shapes, right? Our first one, our regular old minor pentatonic scale, will look like this. And by the way, let's use the key of C minor for this one. So our first shape is going to be like this. We're starting on our C, 3rd fret of the A string right there, then up to the E flat, 6th fret, same string, then across to the D string and the G. We play on the 3rd and 5th fret of both strings. Yeah? Easy enough to get started, right? A lot of people know this shape pretty well. It's kind of like the home base for the minor pentatonic scale. Our next shape, we're going to start on this E flat right here, the 6th fret on our A string, and plug this shape in. So from our start, we're using the 6th and 8th fret on the A string, E flat and F. Then for the D and G strings, we'll use the 5th and 8th fret for both. So 5th and 8th on the D string, G and B flat, and 5th and 8th fret on the G string, C and E flat. This is also the major pentatonic shape, by the way. In this case, we're actually playing E flat major pentatonic. Pretty cool, right? By the way, you can download all these shapes plus the tab and notation for all of them as a free pentatonic cheat sheet download on becomeabassist.com. Just click the first link in that description, sign up on that page, and I'll send it straight to your email address. Next, we probably get the easiest shape of all of them. We'll be starting on the 8th fret on our A string, and for all the strings, we'll just be using the 8th and the 10th fret. 8th and 10th fret on your A string, F and G, 8th and 10th on your D string, B flat and C, and of course your G as well, E flat and F. This one could not be simpler. So the second last one now, we'll start on the 10th fret of the A string right here, and for both the A and the D strings, we'll play the 10th and 13th frets. And finally for the G string, we'll play the 12th and the 10th. Oh, the 10th and the 12th rather. Yeah, so we've got G, B flat, C, E flat, F, and G up the top right there. Now notice this one is very similar to the first one we did back down here. Check it out. Here's the 4th shape. And here's the first one. There's only really one note difference in the shape. Finally though, we get the last shape, and this time we're starting on the B flat, 13th fret on the A string right here. So on the A and D strings, we get both the 13th and 15th frets. And then on the G string, we get the 12th and 15th. Yeah, that's our shape. And of course, when we get back to the top, it's our same shape as the first one. Just like that. Now that we've got a better understanding of the shapes, let's get to the fun stuff. Now, Sai asked how to better memorize the pentatonic shapes. The exact words Sai used were, I try to play the shapes vertically, which works fine, but when I try to combine the shapes and play up the neck, I get confused. Now, this is a classic mistake. Something works in practice, but when it comes time to use that thing in an actual song, things get all turned around. The solution, though, is to make your practice look and feel more like you're actually playing a song. Now, how do you do that? Well, when most people start to practice something, especially something like scales, what do? They go up and down the scales in isolation. Then the next one. Next one. Yeah, just like that. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing this, but it's not particularly musical, is it? It's just an exercise, and when it comes time to use these kinds of scales in your practice, you run the risk of sounding like you're just playing an exercise. Now, the thing I suggested to Sai in the comments was to do this. Go up one shape of the pentatonic scale, but come down the next one. Yeah? Instead of going up a shape and then down the shape, then up to the next, hijack that process a little bit and go up one shape and down the next shape. That'll look like this. Up the first one, but instead of stopping here at the top and coming back down, we're going to go above this top note to the next shape and play down that one. So we're going to go up the first one to the second one and come down. Yeah, then you can go up to the next shape. Same deal here, go above the ending of this one to the next shape, up here and come down that one. And then we go up to the fifth shape, and then down the first one, but up the octave. Pardon me. Yeah, again, that's this. Down the second shape, up the third shape, down the fourth shape, up the fifth shape, pardon me, up the fifth shape, down the first shape again, just like that. Do you see how this works? Now you're not just going up and down the individual shapes, you're actually connecting them with each other. And this might still just be an exercise, but it sounds a hell of a lot more musical than just going up and down scales. Ugh. Now you can also play around with this idea in other ways. You can start off by going down the first shape, then up the second, and follow that pattern. So that'd sound something like this. So down the first shape, up the second shape, down the third shape, up the fourth shape, down the fifth shape, and then up the next one. Yeah, it's the same exact idea, but executed differently. Let's see how this sounds if we just take this idea and play it over something like a blues. So I've got a blues, a really basic blues backing track here in the key of C, so let's just play this idea over it and see how it sounds. Yeah? Now it still kind of sounds a bit exercisey, right? But you're using all the shapes and you're moving fluidly between them. Next, let's try that variation of that idea. Let's go down the first shape, up the second one, down the third, etc., etc. So that'll sound like this. So down the first one, up the second one, down the third one, up number 4, 5, and then back to the top. Yeah? Again, slightly different, but the similar idea executed slightly differently. Again, this still feels kind of exercisey, but you're still using all the shapes, moving fluidly between them. But next let's try something a little bit different. Let's go through the shapes one by one, individually, and really stay within them for a while. Then we'll consciously pick the points where we move up into the next shape. So we'll start in the first one, hang on there for a bit, go up to the next one, then the next one, and the next one. Yeah? So if we bring back the track, it'll sound something like this. Just the first shape to start off with. Yeah? And then at some point you want to move into the next shape. So pick your point and just go for it. Go here. Straight into the second shape. See how that works? Let's go to the next one. Yeah, let's move up into the next one at the top of the form. Let's move into the next one again. Up into the fifth shape. Yeah, and then let's move up to the next one. Yeah, just like that. We've just gone through all the shapes and it never really felt like we were playing an exercise. We just used that simple framework of starting in one shape, picking a point to move up to the next one, and then just go for it. If you wanted to, you could get even more advanced and set limits on how long you want to stay in one shape. You might make it a game and try and move up to the next shape on beat 1 of every bar. So if you did that, it might sound like this. Third shape, fourth shape, fifth shape. Up to the next one there, yeah? Just like that. This can actually be a ton of fun. And not only is it fun, it'll also reinforce the shapes of that pentatonic and make it super easy to play fluidly over your whole fretboard. All it takes is some practice and a framework to follow. You've got the framework now, you just need to put the practice in. Now, if you need the shapes for all these scales, or if you want them in tab form or notation form, be sure to click the link in the description and download my Pentatonic cheat sheet. You'll get all the formulas for all the shapes, as well as a tab like I mentioned, but you also get a variation that combines multiple shapes together across all your strings that can really help open up your playing. It's 100% free, so click that link to grab it. To recap though, you learned all about your pentatonic scale and a more musical method of memorizing the 5 different shapes and going between them in a fluid, musical way, rather than just up and down the scale. You learned that going up one shape and down the following shape was a great way of doing it, as well as doing the opposite, coming down one and back up the next. When you've got the hang of this, you can then play around with the idea of staying in one shape for a while, then picking a point to move on to the next shape. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure and check out that pentatonic scale cheat sheet. I'd be happy to send it your way. I'm Luke from becomeabassist.com, and I'll catch you real soon.